Mm, can't hear.
You can't hear?
Nope. You over there bobbing your head. I'm like, mm-mm.
I'm
I
the
hear it in
only
my
one
head.
driving.
Yep. It's all good. I guess
Hating.
we don't need no intro music today.
Okay, because got me out here looking all crazy. See, that's what we're not gonna do.
It's
We
all
was
good.
definitely we were playing our power intro. If you're familiar with Snatch the Crown, we'll come in on our power because we are here to snatch the crown. So welcome back to another episode. All right. We are Snatch the Crown podcast and an empowering podcast where we talk about wealth, spirituality, and the unyielding journey towards reclaiming your seat at the throne. Okay. I am Mo Divine, transformational strategist, and I am here with my lovely co-host. She's over here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Sherelle Marie, the spiritual wealth transformer, because
All
energy
right.
is currency. Currency
Energy
is energy.
is currency.
Yeah, I said it
All right,
backwards.
y'all. So we're gonna get into it. We ain't even gonna be here. We ain't gonna hold you too long tonight, but we're here talking about the roles of the king and queen. Interesting topic, a great topic. I think it's probably going to unlock a lot of perceptions or different perspectives for people to review the roles of the king and queen. Sometimes we've had this misconception because king and queen, we think about the monarchy, right? We think about them controlling or ruling a particular land, government, sovereign piece of entity. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. King and queen. Let's start there. So both of them actually have pretty much the same ruler. One is a male, one is a female. So we have the king being a male ruler of a kingdom, but it also talks about him being a sovereign too as well. We're gonna get back that to the later. And we have the queen, who is a female ruler of the kingdom, and she's also sovereign, right? So let's just kind of, even when we just break down that, we have two counterparts, right? We have a masculine energy and a feminine energy who are both rulers. Same title, they're doing the same thing. However, we look at the king as being more of the protector, right? He only has one role, and that is to pretty much rule, right? Be the protector of it. The queen is special and very unique in a sense because she can play multiple roles. She's not just one doing one thing, she has the ability to do several different things at one time. We talk about king and queen. First of all, I want to say those are just titles, okay? To describe that entity, that deity, that person, um, that simple placeholder. Typically of royalty, that's why we look at monarchy, we look at kingdoms, we think about royalty, okay? Um, we also look at also when we talk about a king or a queen, they are someone who rules the country. Well, the king is the man who rules the country because of inheritance. And when I was looking at that, I was like, whoa, that is deep, right? So can't know anybody just come up and say, I'm a queen, I'm a king, because they're gonna be like, how did you get there? You had to have been inherited, right? We think about inheritance. I mean, it's given to you. It is in per contract, right? We have the physical contract if you are part of the monarch, okay? But we also, I think about the spiritual contract that we have done and what we are coming back, part of the mission that we are coming back to do here during this time. we have been inherited these certain titles. So it's kind of safe to say that, in a sense, we're all kings and queens, right? It's a
Mhm.
title. We're here to rule a country. Well, we talk about reclaiming land and having our own nation. So in a sense, your entity that you build, your business, okay? We can just think about the mundane. Just if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you rule over that entity. You are the king and or queen, okay? Because people have their titles and their genders they identify. So whatever you may identify, but you are that title, you are that placeholder. You have domain over that. But we also talk about sovereign, and I love the way your explanation of when you explain sovereign. Last on, I don't think it was last episode, maybe it was the episode before last. Explain sovereign, because you have a great way. What does it mean to be sovereign?
It means, like, I don't even remember what exactly how I said it last time. But it's basically, you have you're self-governed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're free from, of course, like you're free from all of what everyone finds themselves in bondage and enslaved to, like, in real time. So it's like myself as a sovereign being, like I make my own rules. It's whatever I see, like that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I want to do, that's what I'm gonna do. Who, like, as far as authority, like, it's only if I allow somebody to have authority over me. But
Mm-hmm.
it's me who has authority over me and everything, like in my world, everything in my reality. So I'm not bound to, a lot of things that, a lot of humans find themselves like bound to. Like I'm free, from society in my thinking, in my mind. And like whatever you think, you know, your body is going to follow, your reality is going to follow. So, yeah, sovereign, just you're your
That's
own God, basically.
it. That is
Like
all. That is.
it's way more than the paperwork and like not being a citizen of the corporation of the United States. Like it's spiritual. I feel it
Mhm.
starts there.
Absolutely. And I was gonna also, break it down spiritually when we look at how these energies show up, right? This king and queen energy. The queen energy shows up as the Cancer, as the sign of Cancer. That's mama. And we can
Hmm.
even take it a step further. The cardinal signs, okay? Cardinal signs are the ones who initiate and activate. They are royalty
Right.
in a sense. They bring upon the change that is necessary for the time that the state, okay, is in. And a state is just
Hmm.
simply bodies, okay, populations that are sustained within boundaries. All right, that's simply what a state is. People don't realize that you can have your own state within a state. You just have to do the proper governing, okay, of yourself and the paperwork too as well, to separate yourself from the corporation. But we have the queen being mama, that Cancer energy, and we have the king being the spirit, but it's that Libra energy. It's that air sign, okay? It represents spirit, Father Spirit. That's ultimately what we're here to tap into, whether it is per religion or per independent spirituality. We're here to tap into the spirit, okay? By way of mama, because she brought us here, okay? And we have the prince. in the princess, which where we is the prince is Aries, and we had the princess being Capricorn. But if you think about it, all of it is elemental. Okay. It's way deeper than titles. Like it gets super, super deep because we start looking at how these elements, which are a part of us, we are the govern of the 12 zodiac signs. So those so finding out where those energies lies in your natal chart will help you be able to activate that initiation that needs to take place so that you can become that sovereign individual. You can become the crown is being restored back to you. That's how you snatch the crown, going within, doing the internal work. And so I think about the king also representing that conscious reality too, as well. Like we said, spirit, that's understanding what's happening per this illusion that is here because of the matrix, right? So one of the most probably underrated games that people play is chess. You hear people all the time say, this is chess, not checkers. But people who say that really aren't chess players. They just say it because it's cliche. They understand that chess is kind of like strategy and it makes them sound good, different things like that. But let's look at the game of chess, right? We have the king and the queen there. We have the king who is the defender. He can only move one step at a time. But we have the queen, okay, who is doing all the work, who's playing the roles of everybody. Because she can move multiple steps at a time. She can move diagonal. She can move horizontal, vertical. There is no limit to how far she can go. And as a result, her job is to protect the king. That is her job. So you never want to put the queen out on the front line. Think about the wars. Are the women out there fighting? No. They're back home playing those roles. The men, the kings, are out there defending, okay? Putting the strategy in place because he really can't go out there on the lines either. So he has to have the support of the other roles there playing. But when it comes to chess, it's all about taking control. It's strategy, essentially. And the best opening move that you take to be able to control the center is essentially how you can gain momentum and you checkmate. So I know you wanted to talk about break down the king and the queen as referred to chess, and I have a little bit more, but so we can probably be bouncing off each other. But I want to give you this time to have the floor.
Well, just off of that portion that you said, so
Mm-hmm.
um, to me, it sounds. I know they both sovereign, but the queen is like the definition of sovereignty. The way that she's able to move all around that board, right? And so the way I see it in my mind's eye. And when it was first broken down to me like that, because I was never like a chess player or whatnot, but I think, I could do some shit now. But so when it was broken down to me like that, the way that I saw it was like, damn it, like Kill Bill. So you know how he had like all these women assassins, on his
Mm-hmm.
team, right? So and they all protected him. Same thing. So it's like, uh the queen is looking more like, the one who could go and gather information and bring it back to the king so he can make these decisions, and strategize and decide who he gonna put out there and to do what.
Mm-hmm.
The queen can even fill in for the king in certain instances. You know what I mean? When he's unavailable. The queen basically is like the king's most valuable like piece, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. You know what I mean? Like the queen though.
No,
um, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because the way I look at it is the king is the most important, right?
Hmm.
And the queen is the most powerful. She has that ability to go out and do those things. And why I say importance, so when I told you I had a little mini download about it, but the way
Right.
I see it is even further because if you're playing chess, you don't have a person for each role. You're essentially playing all roles at one time. But you know the most important role is to protect yourself. So you have to utilize the pawns, the rooks, the knights, and the bishops in a way that is beneficial for you.
Hmm.
So the king is also the smartest because he got to know which one is he's going to have to risk. He don't put his queen out there. You know, sometimes I play chess. I love chess, and I've really been in it heavy. It was the start. It's probably like February. Someone was like, get back into playing chess, and it's just that's my little pastime. I when I ain't got nothing else to do, I'm playing chess. It teaches me so many things about strategy. I have to be mindful, like if I get up in the morning times and I don't like do a meditation, I just go playing chess or whatever. I'm probably not going to have a clear plan because there is not really much clarity. So you have to be in a certain mental space in order to be prepared because I'm playing on chess.com, so I'm playing against other people and they're probably really great. I like it playing that way versus computer because it's almost like real time. You know the bots they kind of true they rig to win pretty much. So but working with individuals and playing with them, it gets you to kind of understand how movement and strategy does play a major part in it, and how sometimes you can be careless, and how other people are careless too as well. But um, the queen and the king they stand side by side for a reason because they're almost like protecting one another in the very beginning of the game of chess. Everybody else moves out according to what's the defending, okay, because they're in the mode of defending due to opposition, but as well as you do kind of want to keep everybody around. You don't want to lose too many people. But the beautiful thing is if you lose others, right, the pawns are there to upgrade, right, to go to the next rank, to be elevated, to be initiated into their next role. So essentially you don't want to have to upgrade anybody. You may want to add to it if you get into that level, where you somebody let a pawn slip by and now you got two queens on the board. Now that's a beauty. But the overall goal is to simply just protect the king. Don't let nobody checkmate you. And that's kind of how you want to think about for yourself. If we look at it in a spiritual sense, you don't want anybody to put you in check, right? Like, you don't want
Right.
anyone to come over and destroy all your pieces. So great strategy goes very, very far. And the woman being able to maneuver, in a sense, the queen being able to maneuver and take care of everything while the king handles the kingdom, right? So, do you think that the roles can be reversed? Because you have a lot of people
Yeah. Yes.
feeling as if that life is that, you know what I'm saying? Like there's the king, the queen does this, and the king does this. Um, it's almost one of those things. The roles can be reversed.
Hmm.
It may take a little time because the king can only move so far. If we're looking at the game of chess, it may take some more time. But at the same time, the king can do all the defending for himself, while everyone else is still back protecting. So just want to put that out there because some people feel like, nah, that don't work. But we may have, someone may have their other feelings, but I just do spiritually. Because if we look at it, the masculine and feminine, we have to come as one. We have to work together. And
Right.
when we're working together, we're harmonizing. So that's why I came to the conclusion to say that those roles can reverse because there's a need for harmony to take place.
Right.
Um, I pulled out the lovers card because I know you was talking about that. Unless you had some more that you wanted to go, and we can come back to that. But just
Well, just to expand on what you just said, as far as
mhm,
like the roles being reversed. So in our previous episode, we did discuss how we all have like the masculine and feminine energies within us. So
mhm,
I do feel like the roles can be reversed based off of who embodies more of like those masculine um, and feminine energies. So like you said that the king is like the Libra, right? So I'm a Libra
mhm.
myself. And I be, I've just been a real nigga all my life. So it's like but as far as with the queen being, Cancer, I'm learning how to tap into like that Cancerian energy within me because that actually is my North Node and
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to be moving towards in this lifetime. Because I know my past life I was a whole ass man, like the life right before this one. So um, that like has been a struggle. Well, not even a struggle, but like a challenge, once I became aware of
Mhm.
like what was actually going on within me. But and then also too, what I wanted to say was that so like with the king and just being like a male, like that represents like authority, and then the woman queen represents like the power, like in the empire. So yeah, that had came to me while you were talking. But yeah, so the card.
Mhm. Put it
So
up so everybody can see.
so the lovers card, right? I was looking. So when I was like first learning about the tarot or whatnot, um, I began, looking, just really like meditating and looking at
Mhm.
the visual and what it was saying to me. So you see in the middle, there's like the
Mhm.
mountain, right? So the mountain in between the two, that represents like the challenges, right? But if you look, so you have like the angel um, at the center, top and center, and then so the man, he has what looks like a burning bush or tree behind him. He has his arms out, like, what am I supposed to do or whatever. He looking at her and she looking up, right? So um so you know how like they say like the woman is the closest thing to God, right?
Mhm.
So it's like we're always going to be looking up, basically looking within, using our intuition and our inner guidance, to basically give the man the play, or I would just say like the energy or whatever.
Mhm.
And then with the when he gets receives like the information of like that we receive from above, he can decide on how, standing in his authority, decide on how he's going to take action, because fire, that represents action, in which that's behind him. Oh, and then she has like the tree of knowledge behind her, because you see like the serpent back there.
Mhm.
So it's like, the queen is supposed to, because not all, well, the queen is supposed to be wise. That's like a wise woman or whatever. So like you, so like how you were saying queen and titles. So like not everybody could be called like a queen or whatever, because it's a bunch of dumb, dumb hoes. So so yeah, the queen is just gonna be like a woman of wisdom that a man should be, the king should, already know, like whatever direction that she's giving me, I know that, I don't have to doubt it, because it's coming from above or, within. So
Mhm.
that's what I had got from that card. and what I wanted to, throw out there about the role of the queen and the king.
No, I mean that was absolutely amazing. Because that gives like a whole nother perspective of the interpretation of that card. And I love the
Mhm,
Rider Waite deck because it is so detailed with so much symbolism, especially biblical
mhm,
symbolism, that has you to look at things in a completely different light. Because when we look at the Lovers card, of course, we talk about harmony. That is like balance. That's alignment. Everything is in the flow, right? And it's weird because it's a Gemini, right? It
mhm,
represents Gemini in the traditional tarot, and it's a number 6. Well, Gemini season is kind of like the 6th month, but it starts in the 5th month,
mhm.
and then it goes over until June. Um, but I just don't Gemini lovers. It was just like, how does that? But
Well,
if we think about it,
twins.
that's what I was going to say. It's
Yeah.
twin energy.
Mhm,
I feel um so probably unpopular opinion, twin flames, right?
mhm,
You know, people always talk about, you know, everybody don't want to meet their twin flame because they are usually on two different journeys, and the what they say, you know what I'm saying, is like one
mhm.
is usually bad and so far behind, and it's toxic. No, I don't think. I think I do. My perspective now, I feel like the twin flame journey is necessary, right? Because if
Mhm.
we're looking at this Lover's card and it's telling us that this is going to bring us balance with this person who's being wise, okay? The woman is being her wisdom. She's trusting her intuition. She's looking up to her higher self, okay? And the
Mhm.
man, I think about being at a he got his hands down. That's surrendering, right? I think about surrendering
Mhm.
in that sense. He's not trying to force anything. He's simply allowing himself. Let's talk about the burning bush. All right.
Right.
He was given laws, right? Moses went out there and he was given the laws of the land, okay, the 10 commandments to how to keep things in order for the people. And that's kind of like what the king and queen, we think about the roles, that's naturally what's happening. And then also it was this one Bible verse that stood out to me too as well, was Luke 19:38. It said, "Blessed be the king that cometh in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest." That goes back to what I said in the beginning, how that cometh in the name of the Lord, that's someone who's inherited. That's someone who specifically, okay, had a mission here on this earth, and he's blessed. When you know your role and you're fulfilling it through the wisdom and through really tapping into, because it's basically tapping into spirituality, because everybody can't wear the crown. Everybody is not meant to be chosen. And even the ones that are chosen don't even fully get their crown. It
Right.
takes their time. They get straight off the path by not truly going within with themselves, not understanding how some energies just don't mix. We got to realize that we're not here to blend energies to mix. No, 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 no. It's gonna be a recipe for disaster because everything don't mix. That's like
Right.
vinegar and oil don't mix, right? However, when you put them in together, they create a balance, and now you got salad dressing. So they harmonize together, but that don't mean that they're good for one another. Because you leave it out for too long, what? It's gonna go bad because it,
Right.
it has no way to create that order. So we have to realize the things, even when it comes to that Lover's cards to your partner. They say opposites attracts. Yeah, that is true. But how do you work together? How does it harmonize? Because you can be two opposites, right? Trying to make something work, and spirit is all around you, preparing you for change. with that Uranus energy. That's quick, sudden change. And they're gonna throw that
Right.
Tower card over there because Mars gonna be like, hey, you playing over here. And then now you're gonna be with the hangman trying to figure out which direction to go. So the lovers card can just it really and that's just you have me looking at this in a completely different perspective now. I love how that's why I adore other readers because I'm a symbolism type person. I do use astrology. I play on like numerology too as well. But people see things that I may not see, and it helps me. It helps activate, right? And
Mhm.
you're a Libra, and I'm naturally Capricorn, so we are those mutable signs that's here to initiate and activate. So in a sense, you a light bulb goes off in my head. I was like, whoa, I'm seeing a different perspective. But so
Mhm.
essentially, we're kind of working together to initiate and activate the collective, right? We here help y'all out to become sovereign, most important. Because once you become sovereign, then you'll be able to take upon that title, that king and that queen. That's the thing about it. Everybody who say they sovereign, they still struggle with
Letting
being
go.
a part. Yeah, letting go. It's a push. It's a seesaw. It's up and down in between, trying to figure out which
Mhm.
direction you can go. But understanding these roles, I do believe it does help people reach a level of sovereignty, knowing the importance of what you came here to do. Because if no one ever told you that the queen, as a woman to another woman, that you are a queen, okay, and that just we just say you're sovereign and you're powerful, right? They'll never believe that, and you can tell plenty of people, and they still won't believe it. But that's where you have to be. You have to step fully in that role and embody it, so that people see the royalty, and that's all what we came here doing. I believe, I essentially believe, if you can master your sun sign, because that's simply what you came here to do, you can really unlock so much more within so that you can be able to hold those titles. That's all I have.
I know. Well, back to the card. So
Mhm.
the mountain could also represent that twin flame journey because that you know how
Because
it's
it's
not easy
listen, trust me.
at all. So
Trust me, I understand. And then and as I evolve, I see it's so many different names for it,
Mhm.
because I do believe it is like it's a divine cosmic relationship too. Because what are the odds? And you gotta think about that. Everybody don't meet their twin flame on this journey. But what are the odds that you meet this person? They do. It is a mirror. They will trigger you, okay, and they will. I do believe they help you initiate healing if you are looking for that. If you are heading in that direction. If you ain't ready to heal and ready to change, then no, it's gonna seem very karmically, right? But we gotta
Right.
think about karma is good or
Mhm.
bad. So we can't really say. So you can have a successful twin flame journey that does activate some karmic rewards. Doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it's because y'all stuck it out. You came together in this mission, you healed and you elevated. That is a reward. The universe has to reward you for that too as well. So yeah. Um People, it was just so weird. People was just, they're like, don't do your twin flame, run away from it, and da 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 da. And it's like everybody has a choice, and I get that. But a
Okay,
lot
have
of
you met
people,
your twin flame?
yeah, I think I'm with my twin flame at this moment.
So you know how they say like one is the runner?
Hmm.
Like
Oh,
so did you
I definitely have. I've been a runner all my life. And sometimes, it's kind of one of those things, how when and I think this is
Mhm.
part of programming. When they tell you, they was like, somebody just starts shooting and everybody running, you just run. Nobody asks you no questions, you just take off running.
Right.
So I do believe a part of it, like if you have that, if you've been programmed in a sense, you would
Mhm.
when something comes up, and it's almost like unknown is when that fear comes up and you don't know what it is, you don't really have a word for it, you can't explain it, and it's like if
Mhm.
you don't want to deal with it, don't deal with it. Like bye.
Right. Okay.
I can't. I can't. It's just who I am to be here. Is I do massive levels of healing in reflections and introspection for myself, that when I feel that coming up, I recognize it in my spirit team, okay? And my spirit don't allow it. It does take some time for me to process it and get through it. Now it's like super rapid fast. But it used to be like I didn't want to let go of it because I felt comfortable in running and not having to explain. But I was like, that's
Right,
poor
right,
communication, and communication is the key when it comes to our relationships. And that's why a lot of people are not truly successful in their twin flame journey or any journey that they have in their relationship, because they don't know how to communicate. So communication
right.
is and that goes for even platonic relationships too as well. Because sometimes people feel like, okay, I'm only going to communicate with you because we're sexual in nature. But no, I feel like even in platonic situations, any type of partnership, there should be a clear level of communication that takes place, so everybody has an understanding. And ain't nobody trying to figure out. But it took some time for me to get there. But I'm there now, and because I'm there, I'm able to help people with that running.
Right.
Okay. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the journey is it is. I want to say bittersweet because I ain't nothing bitter about it. It's just if it's bitter, it's because of my undoing of things. And of course, when you're
Mhm.
saying bye to the old version of yourself, it's like, no, but we want to go outside and play.
Right.
It's like, no, you go outside, that person is dangerous. They're gonna get you in trouble. So it's like, well, you right. And I have to, come back to center. But
Right.
as I become coming back to center, I really don't kind of sway away from it. I'm operating in my highest self, and I know
Mhm.
that like that's just so frivolous, just running. Just
Right.
when they said she's a runner, she a track star, but it goes for men and women too as well, because there's some men
Right.
out there who are runners as well. I feel like that is
Mhm.
because they're not really in tune with their feminine side. They haven't really
Right.
mastered that feminine energy. Because someone who has mastered both the masculine and feminine energy, they understand things, and they're going to be more reluctant to work things out because they have a level of understanding.
Right.
But don't stay in some. If there's red flags, now I will say that there's red flags. Don't say that. Don't stay. But at the same time, a lot of make sure you're not creating red flags, because sometimes we'll
Right.
create. We'll create these scenarios in our head so that we can go back to that comfort of running. So make sure
Right.
that you clear communication, even with yourself. And
Right.
that's definitely the key in order to be on this journey.
Definitely got to keep it 100 with yourself at all times.
Yeah, you definitely got to keep it up. And that's
Yeah.
because that's the you of course you owe, you know a lot of people, I feel like narcissists say you don't owe me anything, I don't owe you an explanation. Yes, you do. You sometimes, when you are that deep in with people, they should know. You should not leave them out in the cold, in the dark, with no understanding. But
Right.
yeah, communicate. Definitely communication is the key. When you learn how to do that, things align for you, and you unlock things within your own self, not just in your relationship. You unlock other things and other situations that you may have going on. It's like the door. It's really that door to value. I feel like communication is, they need an ear to be in the background because it's a part of the
Right.
value, being able to listen. And that's another thing. Communication is listening and speaking, and
Right.
truly listening and being attentive and verbally explaining yourself without emotion, because sometimes emotion have people not being able to clarify themselves. So bring yourself back to center, then you talk. Hmm. You was shuffling them cards over there. Well, you got some messages for the kings and queens.
Nah, I didn't ask. I was just shuffling. But when I had put the deck down, like face
Uh-huh.
up, we got this card right here.
Envy. Oh.
so, so yeah.
It's in the air, you gotta think, but that's like the adversity, the opposition that kings and queens encounter. They have people who
And they
want
do.
to take their titles as well. They
Mhm.
want to take their position. So matter of fact, my partner, he says one thing. He said an envious person is more dangerous than a jealous person. You got to be very, very aware, and that is true, because it's like one of those things. Like at any cost, they will take you out to do whatever they want because they want it that bad. But that
Mhm.
goes back to the state of lack, right? Because you want something so bad, and it belongs to somebody else. Why do you feel like you deserve that? Like, why do you have to envy that person and wish harm upon them to get something? If you deserve it, it's gonna come to you, right? You should be able to
Exactly.
naturally attract it. People don't always see it in that sense. Man, the programming is so real. The things that we just say, people say as those little things, like, you want to take it, like, oh gosh. That's almost like the curse that was placed upon us by the ancestors. You know, um, they have a way to say things. How they pass things down. They pass their sayings down, and they got misinterpreted along the way. And now people are doing things because they heard it, because their grandma said it or their great grandmother said it. But it keeps them in a stagnant place. It keeps them fearful. That's it. We're gonna leave it there. It keeps them fearful. If you're gonna continue saying those cliches and being like that, it's gonna keep you fearful. So,
So I do. So this was the only card that came out when I asked for a message for the kings and queens, and that's the
mm-hmm.
Angel of Love. That's the Angel
Mm,
of Love, and it's card number 49, which
mm-hmm.
equals 13. Equals 13.
And y'all gotta make sure you go back and watch the last episode, the 13th episode, so you can understand the significance and importance of that number, because it really signifies that is the ultimate number to your highest ascension. For you to gain that title, that inheritance, you have to tap into the number 13. That's you and everything within.
And then it being like the Angel of Love for this particular card, and being that love is like the highest vibration. So
Mm-hmm.
like the kings and the queens, um, fortify yourselves and your union in love as a form of protection. Um, use it as like a bubble to like get through everything. So it's going to make that journey up the mountain um, less stressful. Uh, of course, you're going to go through the times of difficulties, but it's all about how you carry yourself through those difficulties. So you want to make sure that you're wrapped in the energy of love and
Mhm.
tap into. Um, I will call upon the angel of love to bestow its loving protection over you and your empire.
Mhm.
Yep.
I just that was a beautiful message. I thank you. And when you said the angel of love, I thought about going back to that lover's card. It's safe to say that that is the angel of love presiding over the king and the
Mhm.
queen. And I just bring everything back on home. The role and the importance of the king and the queen and how they have to work in harmony in order to have a fruitful um relationship. And everything happens because of the vibration of love. Tapping into that energy is the highest force in the universe. um Everything is created out of love. And the beautiful thing is to know that the love chord exists before anything else comes. We just have to get in tune with ourselves on what love is, how we want to feel it, and tapping into that frequency. Because I feel like you tap into the frequency of love, that's like hella quantum jumping. You done unlocked, okay? You done unlocked the key to the matrix.
Man.
All right, so we are we gonna go ahead and end this thing.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do it.
It's just every Tuesday and Thursday at 10:10 p.m. Central Standard Time here on YouTube. Okay, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it too. Wherever you at, share it so we can get this message out to the collective so that they can know what the mission is over here at Snatch the Crown Podcast. Okay. Also, make sure you follow us over on IG. You know, we do exclusive content on Sundays. So, specifically for our IG followers, um, it's just on all major streaming platforms too as well. If you want to listen to us on the go. Have a good night, all right, and make sure that you recognize your greatness so you can tap into your royalty and you wear your crown respectively. Y'all have a good night.
Good night. It ain't playing.